An alarming incident unfolded on a JetBlue flight from New York's JFK Airport to Salt Lake City. A passenger allegedly threatened the woman seated next to him with a razor blade.
The suspect was arrested by police after that flight landed in Utah. ABC's Christine Sloan tells us about this concern it's raising with TSA.
A Utah man is facing federal assault charges after allegedly bringing a straight-edge razor blade on board a JetBlue flight and threatening a passenger.
For JetBlue, ETA 1409, JetBlue was reporting they had one male passenger threatening another passenger with a pocket knife.
Federal prosecutors say 41-year-old Merrill Darrell Fackrell was in a window seat next to a woman when he placed his hand on her screen and told her to pause her movie. She told police she noticed he had a razor blade inches from her throat.
I actually didn't know what he had in his hand until afterward when I saw the police report that he had a straight edge razor.
She said she lunged for the aisle and Fackrell tried to stop her by grabbing her shoulder. Her husband, who was sitting next to her, alerted flight attendants. A fellow passenger described the terrifying scene.
It makes this announcement of, you don't have to worry, she's going to be okay, she's going to be okay. And, everyone's kind of like, whoa, what is he doing? He's like taking a hostage or something? Like, what are his intentions?
Pocket knife has been removed from the aggressor.
Police escorted Fackrell off the flight after it landed safely in Salt Lake City Monday. This midair scare comes weeks after a man allegedly brought 2 box cutters onto a Frontier Airlines plane. In a statement to ABC, the TSA said it takes our responsibility to secure the skies for the traveling public very seriously. The agency says it is introducing new X-ray technology at more airports to improve the capability to detect items such as the one used in this incident. Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
Yeah, talk about a scare in the sky with that one. Hopefully,
no kidding.
Hopefully they get that under control. We're hoping for a little more rain in our area, Mia.
Yes, that was so nice that we got such a downpour finally, the one that we've been hoping for.
Exactly.
And the good news is that we really didn't have to worry a whole lot about severe weather. We had one severe thunderstorm warning in the KSAT 12 viewing area last night near New Braunfels for a little bit of hail. But other than that, while it was noisy at times and maybe it kept a few of us awake, it was just good, beneficial, widespread rain that we saw across the majority of our region last night. Let's take a look at this KSAT Connect photo that we got in from a viewer out in Adkins. This is about 1.5 miles south of Kitcaster, and you can see there in the rain gauge some beneficial rain, just over an inch. So very good to see. Now here in San Antonio, we officially picked up on just over half of an inch of rain yesterday and last night, which brings our total for the year to about 11 inches. The good news is we're no longer in the top spot for the driest year to date. We're now in that second placeholder there. But of course, we are still well below the average of where we should be, around 30 inches. So we definitely could use some more rain. Don't have a lot of that in the forecast into the upcoming week. It is looking to be a lot calmer than the active weather pattern we've seen over the past several days. Tomorrow, more sunshine is in the works. It's going to be pleasant out there, chilly in the morning, but comfortable into the afternoon hours. Monday, I do still think we'll find some sunshine out there, but the humidity is going to build, and you'll really notice that on Tuesday. That all ahead of our next cold front that looks to move in on Wednesday, and that will filter in some cooler air as we head into the second half of next week. But first, a look at temperatures across the area here late this Saturday night. We've got those clear skies in place and low humidity, which of course helps with that comfortable factor when you do step outdoors. So temperatures are falling pretty quickly. 54 officially over at the airport this hour, 51 in Converse. It's already 42 in Bandera and 49 in Los Maples. Those temperatures will continue to fall through the overnight hours. We'll wake up to the 40s here in the San Antonio area first thing tomorrow morning. So if you are stepping out for any Sunday morning plans, definitely bundle up. It's going to be a layering day though, because with all of the sunshine and that dry air in place, those temperatures are going to be able to warm pretty efficiently as well. Into the afternoon, we've got forecast highs in the 70s across a good portion of south central Texas. So any extra layer that you do need in the morning, likely going to not need that into the afternoon, and less wind as well. So that is the good news there, of course. All right, so you can see as we head into tomorrow, still not a whole lot in terms of humidity out there. cooler, but that does change as we head into the beginning of the upcoming work week. We see those southeast winds return, and that's going to pump in more of that Gulf moisture, especially by Tuesday. And you can see how that affects our overnight low temperatures. It's still going to be chilly out there Monday morning, but more of a muggy feel is in store by Tuesday. We start off around 60. Those temperatures climb into the mid, maybe a few upper 70s Tuesday afternoon, and more cloud cover with that humidity working back in as well. But then things once again change as we see our next cold front work its way into the area. Right now, that's looking like Wednesday morning. Not a whole lot in terms of rain with this, maybe an isolated shower possible. We'll keep eyes on that and of course let you know if anything changes. Really the biggest thing that we'll find from this next front, yes, a healthy wind on Wednesday, but also some cooler air. Temperatures falling through the 50s in the afternoon, and then those 50s and even some 60s take us into the second half of next week, guys.
There we go. That's what we like to see in November in San Antonio.
Oh yeah, this is what's normal. Thanks, Mia. All right, UTSA had a big comeback, Larry.
They did. So UTEP led UTSA 24-0 today. Did not look good for the home team, but then the Roadrunners did come back. It's the largest comeback in program history. Plus, the Trinity Tigers had an awesome season, but unfortunately, they just come up a little bit short. Coming up. It was senior day at the Alamo Dome, where UTSA football seniors were honored before playing UTEP in the regular season finale for both. Among the 21 seniors honored were Frank Harris, Brendan Brady, and Dadrian Taylor. First quarter, Miners punched the Roadrunners right in the beak. Calvin Brown-Holtz rolls out on Thursday wide open. Tyron Smith, he's out of Steele High School, 45-yard touchdown, and the Miners go up 14-0. They led 24-0 in the second quarter before UTSA scored 14 points to close out the first half, capped off by this Dadrian Taylor pick six. 73 yards to pay dirt, and the Roadrunners trailed 24-14 at halftime. After a brutal half that saw them lose both Brady and tight end Gavin Sharp to nasty injuries. Now, UTEP led 31-14 in the third quarter, but UTSA responded by scoring the final 20 points. Then Jared Sackett sealed the deal with a 28-yard field goal with just 4 seconds left, and the lead for good. UTSA made its largest comeback in history to beat UTEP 34-31 to finish the regular season 10-2 and a perfect 8-0 in Conference USA.
I really don't get on with my guys very much. I don't, but I was mad at halftime. I mean, we got our tails physically whipped, and I got after it, and they knew I was right.
We weren't playing our style of football, and it was really embarrassing at first, honestly. Coach Trella came in there. He delivered a unique speech to us, and I think we handled it well and came out there and executed the second half.
A unique speech. North Texas beat Rice today 21-17, and that means UTSA will host UNT for the Conference USA Championship Friday, December 2nd, 6:30 p.m. at the Alamo Dome. For the first time since 2002, Trinity is in the second round of Division III playoffs, hosting Mary Hardin Baylor this afternoon. Crusaders led 10-0 in halftime, and they're pulling away in the third quarter. Kyle King hits Brandon Jordan, who breaks free and outruns the defense for a 45-yard touchdown to put the Crew up 24-7, but the Tigers answer back. Early fourth quarter, Tucker Horn slings it to Matthew Kovacevic for a 13-yard touchdown. 10 straight points, and the Tigers gets them right back in the game, trailing 24-17 with 11 minutes to go. Final seconds, though, Trinity with one last chance to tie it. Horn tries to escape the pocket, but he's sacked, and no timeouts for the Tigers. The clock runs out before they can run another play, and that's how Trinity's season ends. The Tigers fall to the defending national champs 24-17.
I knew my guys weren't tapping out, and again, I'll tip my hat to them. They executed a few more plays than we did, but we just came out, we started getting into a rhythm, and at the end of the day, they've been resilient all year. I knew that they weren't going to give up. So proud of them.
Trinity ends their season with an 11-1 overall record. First round of the FCS playoffs today. Elon taking on Furman. The winner faces UIW next week, and that will be the Paladins. Furman rushed for 43 times for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns to defeat Elon 31-6. So here's that matchup. UIW hosts Furman in the second round of the FCS playoffs next Saturday at 1 p.m. at Benson Stadium. In the Big 12, number 4 TCU trying to wrap up an undefeated regular season at home against Iowa State. Opening drive, fourth 4th and 2. Max Duggan finds Jaquarius Spivey for the 19-yard touchdown. 7-0 Horned Frogs. Duggan threw 3 TDs in a blowout win, 62-14 TCU. Another Big 12 scores, UT needs Kansas to beat Kansas State to play for the Big 12 championship. Not going to happen. Wildcats win at 47-27. Also in action tonight, Texas Tech defeats Oklahoma 51-48 in overtime. That one just went final. And West Virginia beat Oklahoma State 24-19. If you can only see Lee cheering over here, it's pretty funny. The third round of the high school football playoff wraps up today. Veterans Memorial taking on Corpus Christi Flower Bluff in Class 5A Division II action. Patriots trailing 17-14 in the second quarter. Running back James Peoples outruns the entire Hornets D for a 66-yard touchdown. His third touchdown of the day gives the Pats a 21-17 lead. But Flower Bluff takes control from there. Jaden Pelucio finds Wyatt Elwood for the go-ahead touchdown just before halftime. And Veterans Memorial falls 66-42. So the Spurs hosted the Lakers for the second straight night. We got that coming for you later in sports. And Lee, you got some cheerleading moves.
Happy. She's a happy Red Raider. I'm only happy because you beat Oklahoma, though. So,
there you go.
I mean,
at least you can support it.
All right. All right. We'll see. A woman killed in Mexico, and the suspected killer is back in the U.S. The video evidence that made her a suspect and why Mexican authorities need the help of the U.S. to bring on charges.
Food prepared at someone's home and not the restaurant is not the only health violation that led to low scores for this Bandera Road restaurant. Hear about 3 different places roaches were found in this week's Behind the Kitchen Door. Well, a kitchen at a popular West Side flea market is told to stop making food at home and to get rid of several dead roaches.
Well, 2 Mexican restaurants had problems with repeat health violations. The Night Team's Tim Gerber takes us behind the kitchen door.
Mary's Kitchen, located in the Bandera Flea Market in the 1300 block of Bandera Road, earned a 75 on their recent health inspection. The inspector found cooked brisket and barbacoa sitting out at room temperature. On top of that, the meat was prepared at someone's home. The inspector reminding the business all food served to customers must be made in a licensed facility or on site. The inside of the refrigerator, freezers, and bins where clean wares are kept needed to be thoroughly cleaned. Several dead roaches were found in baskets holding clean napkins, while more dead roaches were found along the gaskets, doors, and shelves of refrigeration units. A reinspection was ordered. Jalisco Taqueria number 5 in the 6500 block of Babcock comes in with a 68, a significant drop from their previous score of 84 from an inspection back in May. This time around, they had 3 repeat violations. Their biggest problem was employees handling food without gloves or hand washing. The inspector observed food prep workers not wearing gloves when making masa, while also handling their personal cell phone. Another worker dicing lettuce was caught wiping their hands on a dirty apron, then returned to dicing. Another was seen taking off old gloves and putting on a new pair without washing their hands. The inspector also found several in-use spray bottles containing toxic chemicals that were not labeled, indicating what was in the bottle. Torito Mexican restaurant in the 5300 block of South Presa racked up 8 repeat violations, earning them a 79. Day-old refried beans in the cooler were temped at 83 degrees. The beans were condemned. Clean plates had visible dirt-like substances on them. The walk-in cooler had rusty shelves, and there were buckets of food being stored on the floor of the cooler. The kitchen was also in need of a detailed cleaning. A reinspection was ordered. That's what's happening behind the kitchen door. Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
Do you want to know who has good scores and who doesn't? We have a new tool just for that. Scan this QR code with your phone and it'll take you to a new mapping tool. It has the scores for local food businesses. The reports go back 6 months and are frequently updated.
Police in Moscow, Idaho say they're pouring through more than 260 tips sent in digitally, now more than 2 weeks since 4 college students were found stabbed to death inside a home there. The police department asked the public for any outside surveillance video from businesses or homes nearby taken between 3 and 6 a.m. the morning of November 13th. Idaho's governor has authorized up to $1 million in state emergency funds that can be used for the ongoing investigation.
Mexican authorities are pursuing their case against an American suspected of killing Shanquella Robinson. She died at a luxury resort. ABC's Zoreen Shaw explains why they're facing challenges to extradite the suspect.
This morning, a potential legal limbo as Mexican prosecutors seek to extradite an acquaintance of Shanquella Robinson, the North Carolina woman found dead while vacationing in Mexico. Authorities are not currently naming her, but say she is a direct aggressor against the 25-year-old after a video online, too violent to show, reveals Robinson assaulted in her hotel room. Mexican authorities issuing an arrest warrant for that acquaintance, now back in America, for the crime of femicide, the act of killing a woman based on her gender.
On the one hand, the U.S. government is going to take this seriously, and on the other hand, it's not obligated to turn her over.
On October 29th, local police reports state that a Baja Resort town guest told medical staff around 2 in the afternoon that Robinson had drunk a lot of alcohol, a doctor determining she was stable but dehydrated. Adding Robinson's acquaintances refused to send her to the hospital. The police report stating the Charlotte native went into cardiac arrest, declared dead by 6 p.m. But an autopsy differing from that report, stating medical officials arrived before 3 p.m., quickly declaring Robinson dead from severe spinal cord injury and a dislocated neck. Robinson's family wants answers.
I'm just waiting on that day when someone can be arrested. That's all I'm waiting on.
So as for those contradictions, Dan Abrams says sometimes that can happen when you have different officials looking into the same case, but it can be problematic for prosecutors. Zoreen Shaw, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Singer and actress Irene Cara, best known for theme songs in the movies Fame and Flashdance, has died at the age of 63 at her Florida home. Cara's publicist confirmed the news on the artist's Twitter account, saying the cause of death was unknown. The Bronx-born actress's role in Fame in the 1980s, paired with her singing the movie's title track, scored her the Academy Award for Best Original Song. 3 years later, her smash #1 hit Flashdance, What a Feeling, also won the Oscar for Best Original Song along with a Grammy Award. Coming up, archery is a tough skill to hone, so imagine doing it without being able to see. After the break, what inspired blind archers to take up the sport? It's something you may not know. There are athletes who practice archery who are blind. Take a look. This is a group out of Brookfield, Wisconsin. Dan Smars, who was born blind, was interested in archery. He reached out to a friend who owned an archery facility, and that was back in 2017. Now they have a whole group that meets up regularly to practice and complete their goal, which is to prove that anything is possible.
I believe it gives them a chance to be competitive, gives them a chance to do something that nobody thought they could do it.
You know how the arrow flows? I think that's how life should be. It should always be moving forward, not being stagnant or complacent.
Great advice. So how does it work? Archers line up alongside a specialized stand. They put their feet against the bottom and their hand rests near a pin. It helps them maintain form and gives them a sense of direction. Instructors will then help them load arrows and walk them to the target to feel their shots. How cool is that?
That's amazing.
That's
wow.
Really talented. That is hard to do.
Oh,
it's extremely hard.
So hard to do.
Absolutely. All right, y'all, taking a look outside with live cam here tonight. Temperature 51 degrees. We've got clear skies in place. Hopefully you enjoyed the weather that we found out there today. Yes, it was a little breezy. We'll take a look at those peak wind gusts across the area in just a few. High officially in San Antonio, 62 degrees, about 7 degrees below the average for this time of year of 69 and well below the record of 87 because of the low humidity and clear skies. Again, those temperatures are falling pretty quickly here tonight. 47 in Hondo, 46 in Pleasanton, 51 out in Del Rio, and 42 up in Kerrville in the Hill Country. Here in town, I do think we will manage to see those temperatures fall into the 40s in Bexar County first thing tomorrow morning. Extra layer needed, but then you won't need it into the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, highs in the 70s. We are expecting the humidity to increase into next week ahead of our next front. We'll have a full look at those details once again in just a few.
Well, I was saying earlier to Lee, this was like the perfect weather day for me. I know she would like it a
like
little
5
bit
degrees warmer. If we could, Mia, if you could
minor complaints.
Just minor, not major complaints here.
Minor complaints. I was fine with it.
Tomorrow, probably Lee is going to be your day. It's still going to be a little chilly in the morning, but I think in the afternoon you'll like it because those temperatures are going to climb into the 70s versus the 60s that we found out there this afternoon. Of course, it was also windy as well. If you did step out for any of those Saturday plans, taking a look at some of the peak wind gusts across south central Texas today. Here in San Antonio over at the airport, 36 miles per hour was that peak wind gust. Stinson clocking in a wind gust of 37 miles per hour earlier this afternoon. Same out in Pleasanton, 35 mile per hour peak wind gusts in Kerrville as well. Now, of course, those winds have calmed down really since the sun went down, and we are going to hold on to those calmer conditions as we head into the overnight hours and for your Sunday as well. With those clear skies in place, once again, it will be chilly out there, around 44 here in San Antonio. Around 7 a.m. we see the sunshine. That helps those temperatures warm. We're near 60 already by 10 a.m. and then into the afternoon hours. I think for a good portion of the area, San Antonio and surrounding communities, will climb our way into the 70s as we head into any of those Sunday afternoon plans. Still very comfortable out there when you do step outdoors tomorrow. Low humidity will continue to be the theme into the second half of the weekend, but that changes especially by Tuesday. On Monday, we start to see those southeast winds pump in some more of that Gulf moisture, and we really will notice that on Tuesday. But just as quickly as that humidity works its way back in, it is quickly shoved back out to the Gulf after we see our next cold front move through Wednesday morning. So we'll talk about that while we are quiet and clear here in South Texas. It is a different story off to our northeast. That weather maker that brought us the widespread rain and a couple of thunderstorms last night, now doing the same for portions of the Tennessee River Valley, stretching over to the upper Midwest. Some of that wet weather even down into the deep south near Alabama, stretching back over to western Georgia. But take a look up to our northwest. There's a little dip in the jet stream here. This is our next parent weather system that is now approaching far western Canada. What this is going to do over the next several days is track eastward. That eventually will drop our next cold front into the Lone Star State on Tuesday, and then that works its way into our area early Wednesday. Temperature-wise, it will be a little bit warmer out there over the next few days. Temperatures in the 70s. That continues Monday and into Tuesday. Of course, with that added humidity, more cloud cover in store Tuesday as well. Above average for this time of year, but then we see that front work its way in, and then those temperatures do look to fall. We'll see those fall through the 50s Wednesday afternoon into Thursday, and then those temperatures start to warm back up into next weekend. So of course we'll keep eyes on all of that, but until then, it is chilly out there tonight. 53 now over at the airport, 48 up in New Braunfels, 46 Bernie Stage area, 43 in Hondo, and 54 in Castroville. Those temperatures will fall overnight tonight. Again, tomorrow, if you have any outdoor plans that you need to take care of, it's going to be a beautiful day for that. Enjoy it because it'll be comfortable as well before we see that humidity start to work in early next week, guys.
I did say I'd like 75, but I will take 74, Mia.
Okay, I tried just for you, Lee, just for you.
Mia,
I appreciate it.
We pulled some strings, okay?
Okay, it's fine.
Mia's the best. All right, thank you. All right, Larry, Spurs hosting the Lakers tonight. Let's hope they can pull it off.
Oh, you know what? I tell you, back-to-back games against the Lakers. The Spurs scored a season high, but it wasn't enough to put them in the win column. Plus, there was almost a fight in this one. And in World Cup action, Messi certainly saved Argentina. Coming up. Spurs hosting the Lakers tonight at the AT&T Center for the second straight game. First quarter, closing seconds. Wenyen Gabriel steals the Spurs inbounds pass. He drains a three at the buzzer, and the Lakers are down 33-34 after one. Second quarter, Spurs fast break. Romeo Langford dimes Jakob Poeltl for a huge slam dunk. Spurs go up 49-41, but Jak hurt himself on the landing and he had to leave the game for good with right quad soreness. Final minute, LeBron passes to Russell Westbrook, who hangs in the air to pass it back to LeBron for an awesome alley-oop jam. Lakers led 70-68 at halftime. Second half, all right, so no Jeremy Sohan for the Spurs because he suffered a right quad contusion late in the second quarter. So third frame, things getting testy. Zach Collins down low, blocks Westbrook. Then he fouls him hard on the follow-up attempt. Russ, bleeding from his forehead, attempts to go after Collins, but of course he's held back. After review, Zach was called for a flagrant foul too, and he was ejected from the game. Russ was just given a technical foul. Lakers are up 106-97 after 36 minutes. Fourth quarter, it went back and forth. LeBron scored 12 of the Lakers' first 15 points. He finished with 39. Keldon led the Spurs at 26. San Antonio scored a season-high 138 points, but the Lakers scored more to win it, 143-138 for the Spurs' 8th straight loss.
They've got great character. I thought they were fantastic. I'm proud of them. They just keep playing. Doesn't matter what the score is or who's there, who's not there. They are unbelievably coachable, and they're trying very hard to do what we want them to do. I was just thrilled and proud of them tonight.
Spurs will next play Wednesday night at 7 at the OKC Thunder. In men's college basketball today, number 4 Texas played a home game at Gregory Gym, and the Horns rolled UT Rio Grande Valley. First half, Dylan Mitchell steals the pass, and he's going to rock the rim for Texas, and the Horns lead big 25-9. Late first half, Sir Jabari Rice plays alley-oop with Mitchell, and the crowd is going nuts, and Texas wins easily 91-54, improving to 5-0. Take you to Qatar for World Cup action, a crucial game for Argentina as they faced Mexico in the group stage. Second half, Lionel Messi shoots from outside the box and he scores for a 1-0 lead in the 64th minute. Messi firing the ball low into the corner of the net from 20 yards. So Argentina wins 2-0 to avoid elimination. They'll next face Group C leader Poland. Mexico will need to beat Saudi Arabia Wednesday to stand a chance of finishing in the top 2. Denmark playing France, second half tied at 1. Kylian Mbappe puts France up for good. He pops up in front of the far post to head to cross home in the 86th minute for his second goal of the match, and the defending champs win 2-1 to become the first team to advance to the World Cup round of 16 in Qatar. And 2 more finals. Australia beat Tunisia 1-0 and Poland blanked Saudi Arabia 2-0. Texas A&M hosting number 5 LSU at Kyle Field, and the Aggies strike first. Devon Achane takes a handoff, and he makes a sick cut inside for a 10-yard touchdown, and the Aggies lead 7-0. Late second quarter, now tied at 10. Connor Wigman falling away throws a high ball to Donovan Green for a 3-yard score, and A&M led at halftime 17-10. Third quarter, tied at 17. Tigers quarterback Jaden Daniels, he's going to fumble the ball. The Aggies' Damani Richardson scoops and scores 27 yards to flip the momentum. Aggies go up 24-17. They would extend their lead 38-17 midway through the fourth, and the Aggies get this upset number 5 LSU 38-23 to wrap up their season 5-7 overall, 2-6 in the SEC. And Aggie fans have to be saying, where was this all season?
Yeah, that's what Mia's saying right now.
She has her pom-poms over there. She's really excited.
We got
Mia's dancing, Lee's dancing.
Yeah, we're all pretty happy
Corey,
over
you're
here.
dancing because of UT men's basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. We're all
Team,
dancing.
by the way.